Good morning. Kind of looks like we're still out at sea, but for those of you who might have been here, we're in the middle of an enormous river. We have been coming up the mouth of the Amazon of about 20 hours now. We're just now getting to the point where we can see land on the sides and are waiting for a river captain to bring us further in. At the mouth of this river, it's about 200 miles across. I'll try to see if I can remember some of the things I was told about this. There is, you'll see the water is brown, muddy. It's kind of hard to maybe see at this distance, but there's a reef that we were over yesterday that extends about 600 miles. They only found it, I don't know, I'll say 15, 20 years ago. They didn't realize it was there because it's at a depth they wouldn't expect, down about 200 meters, because there's so much sediment coming out. So a actually viable reef is developed there because it's down deep enough that the heat doesn't really mess with it. But we're heading up the Amazon. We're going to be going up for about 3 days, about 3 or 4 days up, and about the same amount of time back. And you see off in the distance there's other ships. It's kind of hard to get a sense of this. I spend a good deal of time around the Mississippi, which is a pretty good-sized river, but it is nothing like this. Like I say, we're just now getting to where we can see land. We've been sailing where you would think it was basically you're out at sea, but you're in a river. Some of the things I learned about this are that the Amazon is by far the biggest in volume. It puts out something like enough water per second to provide all the water a city the size of New York City needs. How about that guy? If I can get him. And the thing I found most fascinating, this river runs at a very slow pace. It's got a drop off of something like, I was told, about an inch or less for every 100 miles. It's about 4,000 miles in length total. It rivals the Nile. There's arguments now because they're finding a different source that it may actually be longer than the Nile. But the part that got me, this runs from west to east, and it's much further north than I realized. When I look at a map, I think of it as sort of like somewhere in the middle of South America, but it's very near the top. It's almost at the equator. We actually came just over the equator, or above the equator briefly, and as you go into the mouth of the Amazon, you go back down into the south. So we're still in the southern hemisphere, barely, but that's how far north this river is. But the really fascinating part for me was, it flows basically from the Andes. It starts almost at the west coast of South America and goes all the way over here. But there was a time, millions of years ago, when this river was twice as long, when the land masses of South America and Africa were one. But more than that, the Andes aren't old enough to have kept it from flowing in the opposite direction. When those land masses were united, or not yet separated, the river flowed what it for us would now as the east to west, so the opposite direction from what it's flowing now, and has been flowing all our lives. The scale, the thing must have been enormous. It'd be like flowing across all of Russia. But anyway, I'll take a bunch of videos once there's more to see. But right now we're really just waiting till we can get taken up. We're reaching a point where it's discernibly a river, and so someone's going to come in and guide us, a riverboat captain, and because we're going over a shallow. Some of these shallows that we go over, we clear by a meter or two. So, and for a ship this size, that's, it's got 20 some meters below it, to clear by only 1 or 2 is something. But anyway, as the captain just said to us a little while ago, welcome to the Amazon. And I can't say I ever expected to be here, but I am curious to see what this place has to offer. See ya. All right, now the Amazon, as I said just a while ago, is a big place. Actually, that was yesterday. Some things, though, you don't expect to see here. I kind of had this winding, snaky kind of river thing going, and there are places like that. This whole river system is massive, but it's there are things in here like tankers. Well, I guess it is the main artery through this part of the world, so you're going to see more and more traffic as you go up the river, and we are doing that. And it's just beautiful out here. The scale is just enormous. It's just hard to get a sense of what you don't expect, at least if you have the sort of stereotypical notion that I've always had about the Amazon. Lots and lots of people here. There are cities in the Amazon that are quite legitimately that. It's not just there are lots and lots of people that are going to town in a couple of days that's much bigger than this. So this is just to give a sense of how we're out in the middle of a very, very large river. We're going to be taken by those little boats over to this relatively small city based on where we're going. And we're going to see more stereotypical things tomorrow, but it's really a surprise to see this kind of development. And when I said the stuff about social elements as far as travel goes, the effects that people have not only on each other but on the environment, and then some back on themselves and each other, you begin to see the kind of causal effects that we have. It's impressive in a number of ways. But anyway, welcome to